For the past few weeks, the People's Liberal Party, PLP, has been embroiled in controversy over the actions of its former chairman, Mr. Peter Mayen Majongdit. The People's Liberal Party recently dismissed its chairman. Therefore, what led to this dismissal and what is next for the party? I am joined today by the first deputy interim chairman of the People's Liberal Party, Honorable Deng Ayok. So therefore, join us as we discuss this and more only on Beyond the Headlines. The controversial political figure, Peter Mayen Majongdit, who is the current Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, and who is also the former president of the umbrella of political parties and the leader of other political parties, has faced quite a number of controversies in the past few weeks. When was the People's Liberal Party established? Who is its founder? And what is the objectives and also the mission of the party itself?
Thank you very much, Ms. Eunice Malath. The People's Liberal Party, the PLP, was founded in 2015, early 2015. And the founder, one of the founders, the main founder is Bijok Lang Mijak. And I myself was a co-founder of this party. The vision of People's Liberal Party is a stable and a peaceful unified South Sudan with a people-centered leadership whose population enjoys liberal, equal social, economic, and political opportunities. The mission of the People's Liberal Party is to break, dismantle, destroy, and incapacitate all impediments to popular participation of South Sudanese in shaping their social, economic, and political destiny. Generally, this would be the vision and the mission of the party.
In a press statement released on August 4th, the leadership of the People's Liberal Party and other political parties dismissed its chairman, Mr. Mayen. According to the party, Mr. Peter Mayen Majongdit has failed to promote the spirit of broad consultation with the umbrella leaders and the other political parties, OPP, as a whole on all matters pertaining to the ARCIS, including the recent controversial nominations of MPs to the RTNLA, which has resulted in the evocation of the OPP MPs and thereby being a hindrance to the implementation of the peace agreement. Mr. Peter Mayen Majongdit is involved in various disciplinary social actions that have become a liability to the umbrella opposition political parties and therefore the OPP. Hence, we, the undersigned members of the umbrella political parties, do hereby resolve and or declare that Mr. Peter Mayen Majongdit is no longer representing us on all issues related to the ARCIS, and we therefore, on the same note, hereby inform all our members, supporters, transitional government of national unity, and the NPTC in particular, the IGAD, non-governmental entities, to take this declaration into immediate consideration that the above person is no longer part of our umbrella opposition political parties with effect from this 4th day of August 2021. We ask the IGAD, RJMEC, Citizen, MVM, and government not to transact any business with him on behalf of the umbrella opposition political parties, and in particular, the People's Liberal Party, PLP, Republic Party of South Sudan, and South Sudan Generations Party, respectively or collectively. In what form was he a liability?
Well, Mr. Peter Mayen Majongdit, in 2015, after the party was founded, as a member of the party, we sat as the leadership and the co-founders of the party and decided that he will be the first interim chairman of the party to represent the party in all issues. And particularly at the time, it was at a very crucial time when peace talks were ongoing in Addis Ababa. So we all agreed that Peter Mayan Majongit would represent the PLP in the peace talks. And after the signing of the peace agreement in Addis Ababa, and now RCIS, Peter Mayan represented the PLP under the umbrella of political parties, of which People Liberal Party is one of the members of those 10 political parties. Now, when he was appointed the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Peter Mayan Majongit immediately disconnected himself from the party leadership, and he decided to conduct business of the party independently, not involving and not consulting with the party leadership. And worst of all, he also sidelined all the other 10 political parties that fall under the umbrella that he represents in the peace agreement. And if you have read the peace agreement, and if you've gone to the area of signatories, under the signatures of other political parties, Peter Mayan Majongit signed for umbrella of political parties of South Sudan, under which is representing 10 political parties, PLP being one of them. He sidelined all of these 10 political parties, he sidelined PLP itself, including myself, the deputy chairman of the party, and he refused any consultation completely. Until May this year, 2021, when he made the controversial nomination of members of parliament to the National Legislative Assembly, that is when we, as the party leadership, the co-founders and other leaders of the party, we decided that this is completely now unacceptable, as he had appointed individuals from his own family, his own friends, including one Ugandan, the Ugandan citizen, to the parliament on the ticket of the OPP. So we call upon the leadership of the, I called the meeting, I personally convened the meeting of the PLP leadership, National Leadership Committee, and formed a disciplinary committee to investigate Peter Mayan, particularly how he came to make the nomination on by himself alone of the members of parliament on behalf of the PLP, the umbrella, and other political parties. He was conducted by the disciplinary committee members to sit with them. He refused to answer phone calls. He refused to answer any invitations for such investigative meetings. So when the disciplinary committee could not get him, they decided to make a recommendation to the National Leadership Council that Peter Mayan has refused to completely meet with them. And therefore, they recommend that the membership of Peter Mayan Majongit be withdrawn, be terminated. And this is how we arrived to the decision to terminate Peter Mayan Majongit's membership with the party.
Mm-hmm. Now, who were the family members that he ended up appointing into the parliament, and who is the Ugandan lady that he also decided to unilaterally appoint?
The family members that he appointed to parliament, at the National Legislative Assembly and at the State Assembly include his own mother, biological mother, includes his own younger brother, includes his own sister, and then includes that particular Ugandan lady that people claim was socially involved with Peter Mayan. His involvement with this Ugandan lady, to us, we don't know, but these are the claims that we hear. However, if you look at the appointment of these 3 individuals from his family and the Ugandan lady, and including appointing one of the active members of the SPLM party, who later was sworn in with the rest of the MPs, because that particular ticket couldn't be given back to the OPP. He appointed 2 positions to the SPLM as we speak. So what is remaining on the ticket of PLP of OPP is 28 positions, no longer 30 positions as it is in the agreement.
Mm-hmm. So you ended up losing 2 seats because of his actions.
We have already lost 2 seats. Those 2 seats are irreversible because he decided to appoint individuals not doing background checks to determine whether these are legitimate members of OPP political parties or not. So, but simply because these are people that were known to him, he decided to add their names to our list.
Based on the 2018 Revitalized Peace Agreement, the Transitional National Legislative Assembly will be comprised of the governing transitional government would nominate 332 members. Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition, SPLM-IO, would have 128 members, and 50 members would come from the South Sudan Opposition Alliance. Then the other political parties, OPP, would nominate 30 representatives, and 10 would be from the section of former detainees. Now, where does People's Liberal Party and the other political parties stand now after the president rejected the nominations that were submitted by Mr. Mayen for the parliament?
Since the revocation of the nomination that were given by Peter Mayen, the other 17 OPP members have been engaging in meetings with the National Transitional Committee to come to a compromise, and come up with a list that is more inclusive of all political parties that are represented under the OPP. The 17 political parties have already submitted their list, and their list indicates that Peter Mayen will take 10 MP positions, and the other 17 political parties will take 20 MP positions. This proposal was accepted by the National Transitional Committee, chaired by Honorable Tukiao, and Peter Mayen rejected this. Peter Mayen proposes that he wants 22 of these MP positions to himself, and whoever is going to appoint it will be up to him. And the other 17 political parties must go with only 8 MP positions, and this is rejected by the other 17 political parties. That is between Peter Mayen and the other 17 political parties. Now that we have removed Peter Mayen Mejongdit as interim chairman of the People's Liberal Party and as head of umbrella political parties, we, the new leadership, have already submitted, as we speak, a nomination of 10 MPs on the ticket of the umbrella. That is 10 political parties, meaning almost each political party will go with 1 MP, and the other 17 political parties will go with 20 MP positions. This is accepted by the National Alliance of Political Parties. So this distribution is agreeable to all of us, except Peter Mayen Majongo.
Now, one would ask the OPP as well as the People's Liberal Party and question your vetting process when it comes to your leadership. Did you know the characteristics of Mr. Mayen prior to his appointment?
We did know Peter Mayen Majongo, and we had reservations, but as given the fact that he was already our interim chairman, we worked with him, closely with him, to try and correct him as we go. You know, the different mistakes that he has been making along the way until recently, we used to consult with him, we used to talk to him to try and correct himself as PLP leaders. And as umbrella leaders as well as the OPP.
What were some of the actions that you were trying to correct or redirect in his behavior prior to the final decisions that were reached? So it shows sort of like a pattern of behavior that was occurring for quite a while.
Well, the behaviors that we were talking to him about included, number one, ensuring that he conducts himself in a manner of a leader in public places, because he is known to have a drinking problem. So we told him, as a party leader, you need to conduct yourself more appropriately in public, and he refused to listen to that. Number one. Number two, we also engaged him with regards to decision making of party decisions, as well as making decisions on behalf of the other 9 political parties under the umbrella. He refused to consult with the leadership of the PLP, as well as with the leadership of the political parties that are under the umbrella. So unable to consult basically in decision making of the party, of the umbrella, and of the OPP. And also recently the social behavior within his family, where he was very violent towards individual family members, including his own bodyguards, including his wife, that has been talk of the media of the past few days. And while the PLP values and principles on gender equality are very strict and very, very clear, we promote gender equality, we promote the empowerment of women.
Mm-hmm. Now, has the People's Liberal Party submitted to the president an official letter or met with the president to address the decision to remove Mr. Mayen from his position as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management?
What we have done is, number one, we've submitted to the president all the events that have been undergoing. Number one, on the document that have been submitted to the office of the president includes the decision of the party to terminate the membership of Peter Mayen with People's Liberal Party. Number two is the endorsement of this decision by the leadership of the umbrella of political party, signed by the interim chairman, Dr. Abraham Junkwet. And this was also endorsed by the OPP as a whole, as you might have seen in a press statement or a press release, press conference that was done at South Sudan Hotel on the 6th of August, 2021, where all the OPP political parties were in attendance. All the 27 political parties were in that press conference, endorsing our decision and the decision of the umbrella, and assuring the people of South Sudan that now with the new leadership of the umbrella and of the PLP, we will together be able to hasten the nomination of the members of parliament of the OPP and submit them to the president. All of this documentation has been shared with the office of the president. They've also been shared with the National Pre-Transitional Committee, headed by Honorable Tutkal. We've also shared the same with the IGAD, with the office of Dr. Ismail, the IGAD Special Envoy to South Sudan, as well with RJME. So everyone has been informed, including the Political Parties Council, the PPC. So everyone has been informed about the removal of Peter Mayen as Minister for Humanitarian Affairs is actually the decision of the government. It is not a decision. We cannot say that we have removed him from the position of Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, but we have made recommendations for placement of Peter Mayen Majongit with another OPP representative in the OPP ministerial position.
It is important to note the timeline of Mr. Mayen's history. In 2015, he was nominated as interim chairman of the People's Liberal Party. In March 2020, he was appointed as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. In April 2021, he was accused of firing a gun at his wife's soccer game. In May 2021, he submitted parliamentary nominations without consulting his party. In July 2021, President Kiir rejects nominations that had been submitted by Mr. Mayen. In July 2021, Mr. Mayen is accused of beating and stabbing his wife. On August 4th, 2021, reports emerged that his wife is locked up inside their home. On August 4th as well, 2021, he is dismissed as chairman of the People's Liberal Party. On August 6, 2021, Mr. Mayen is reported to have attacked his wife upon arrival to Kwajok town. And some of Mr. Mayen's behaviors occurred when he was chairman of the People's Liberal Party. Why did it take such a long time for the party to act in dismissing him from his position?
Well, it takes time to make a political decision. People's Liberal Party is a political organization. It's an institution with governing instruments, with constitution, with how we conduct business. So obviously it takes time it takes time for any organization to come to conclusion that an individual is becoming a liability to the institution, and therefore it takes time to form the committee and for the committee to do their job and make recommendations to finally get to a point such as which we got to. It is the procedures that we are following that took time. And they took time because Peter Mayen Majong did avoid it to work with us in tackling some of these issues of concern that we have with his leadership, as well as these concerns that we had as OPP, including the rest of the political parties under the OPP. So it took time because he is always unreachable. In fact, the past few days that these events have been undergoing, other media houses are also trying to engage to see if he can defend his position with regards to termination of his membership and his removal as interim chairman of the umbrella of political parties, and also the fact that the OPP leadership actually has disposed of him as their representative and has clearly indicated to the public, to the IGAD, to the RGM, that he will no longer represent the OPP or the umbrella or the People's Liberal Party, any business, and advises the public and the government that Peter Mayen will only be conducting business as an individual or as a Minister of Humanitarian Affairs for now until he is removed by the president or the government. He is even refusing to talk to the media to defend some of these issues. So this is how difficult it was even for us to get to talk to him. So you can imagine how hard it was for us.
Now, what policies are in place within the People's Liberal Party and other political parties to address gender-related issues that include gender-based violence? And does your party respect women's rights?
Well, our constitution is very clear, and the constitution clearly indicates that we are a party of diversity in terms of who is represented in the party. And on behalf of PLP, I don't know about the other political parties, we respect gender equality, we promote gender equality and the empowerment of women. It is our policy, and it is one of the reasons why we have gotten rid of Peter Mayen. In fact, our party chairperson is a woman, Mrs. Honorable Jacqueline Adudeng Dwight. She is the current interim chairperson of the People's Liberal Party. So this is a clear indication that the party supports gender equality and empowerment of women. So as PLP, women empowerment is in fact our number one priority because they are the most disadvantaged in our society, followed by the youth.
As the first deputy interim chairman of the People's Liberal Party, what do you hope is the way forward for your party? Because in order to not only change the image that has been badly portrayed by your former chairman, what do you aim to accomplish in the coming future?
Well, as a political party, as you in this interview, in the beginning, I shared with you the vision and the mission of the party, and because Peter Mayen Majong is completely misplaced what the vision of the party is. That's why we've gotten rid of him. And I believe as of the second day of August 2021, when Peter Mayen's membership was terminated, we are back on track, and we are back on focusing on the vision of the party. So what we hope to achieve is to ensure that this party is empowered, to ensure that it is in the position to empower the people of South Sudan, to be able to voice the concerns of the people of South Sudan, and in the parliament and at all levels of South Sudan.
Thank you, Honorable Deng Ayok, for joining me here on Beyond the Headlines. And our viewers, please join me next time for another important discussion on the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and for hosting me.
Yes, thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page at Sunrise Media.